The Stardust Runner emerged from hyperspace at the coordinates of the secret rendezvous point. Before them stretched a vast asteroid field, and hidden among the space rocks was a heterogeneous fleet of ships, modified freighters, old fighters, and even a few stolen warships. The rebel fleet. Zara watched this scene from the bridge, her heart pounding with a mix of pride and anxiety. Each ship represented a forged alliance, a promise made, a shared hope. Impressive, isn't it, Princess? Rex's voice startled her. She turned to see the captain, battered but alive, leaning against the door frame. His rescue from the Galactic Corporation station had been a risky operation, but Zara couldn't imagine facing this final battle without him. More than impressive, Rex, Zara replied with a smile. It's the beginning of change. The communications filled with greetings and confirmations as the leaders of the various factions acknowledged the arrival of the Stardust Runner. Zara had spent months uniting these disparate groups, miners' unions, frontier colonies, former political rivals, and even some Xylorian military units that had defected. In the strategy room of the Stardust Runner, Zara presented the final plan. Holograms of Xyloria and the Galactic Corporation fleet floated above the tactical table. The corporation doesn't expect a frontal attack, Zara explained. Their arrogance will be their downfall. While our main fleet distracts them, an infiltration team will sneak into the palace to deactivate the climate weapon and expose the truth about the occupation. And who will lead this suicide squad? Asked Koda, a scarred Orion commander. Zara straightened her back. I will. A murmur spread through the room. Rex stepped forward. You won't go alone, Princess. I'll go with you. Zara nodded, grateful. Very well. Mira, she addressed the tentacle pilot, you'll lead the fleet in our absence. With the plan set, the rebel fleet prepared for the jump. Zara retired to her quarters, allowing herself a moment of reflection. She took the medallion that had belonged to her mother, the last vestige of her previous life. I'll make you proud, she whispered. The jump to the Xylorian system was precise and coordinated. Within seconds, the space above the bright blue-green planet was filled with ships. The corporation fleet, taken by surprise, took precious minutes to respond. All ships, open fire. Myra's voice echoed through the communication channels. The void of space lit up with the flash of laser cannons and proton torpedo explosions. The Stardust Runner weaved through the chaos, dodging shots and debris as it headed towards Xyloria's atmosphere. In the cargo bay, Zara, Rex, and a small elite team prepared. Remember, Zara said, checking her blaster, our objective is the climate weapon. Everything else is secondary. The descent through the atmosphere was turbulent. Planetary defense systems, now in the hands of the corporation, fired at them. Mira demonstrated why she was considered the best pilot in the galaxy, dodging and turning with physics-defying grace. They landed in the palace gardens, now withered and burned. Zara felt a pang of pain seeing her home in such a state. There was no time for lamenting. Corporation guards were already converging on their position. Let's go, shouted Rex, leading the charge. The team fought their way through the palace corridors, facing waves of soldiers. Zara was surprised at how familiar combat felt now, far removed from the princess she had been months ago. Finally, they reached the throne room. There, surrounded by elite guards and corporation technicians, was Grand Duke Vex. Next to him was a pulsating machine that Zara recognized from the plans, the climate weapon. Zara! Exclaimed Vex, his face a mask of surprise and relief. You're alive. Not thanks to you, Uncle, Zara responded, her blaster aimed firmly at him. Vex raised his hands. Niece, you don't understand. Everything I did for Xyloria. Betraying your people? Aligning with the corporation? How does that benefit Xyloria? We were on the brink of economic collapse, Vex explained, his voice filled with desperation. The corporation promised stability, resources. I didn't realize their true intentions until it was too late. Zara saw the truth in her uncle's eyes, the weight of guilt and regret. It's not too late, Uncle. Help us stop this. A moment of tension stretched between them. Then, Vex nodded. You're right. I've been a fool. He turned to the climate weapons console, his fingers flying over the controls. Alarms began to sound. What are you doing? shouted the leader of the corporation technicians. The right thing, at last, Vex responded. An explosion shook the room. Zara watched in horror as part of the ceiling collapsed onto the machine and her uncle. "Uncle Vex!" she cried, running toward the debris. Vex lay trapped, blood staining his robe. "Zara," he coughed, "the weapon is overloaded. It will explode, taking the corporation fleet with it. Go." "I won't leave you," Zara insisted, trying to move the rubble. Vex took her hand. "This is my redemption, niece. Now go, lead our people. Do better than I ever could." With a heavy heart, Zara nodded. "Goodbye, uncle. May the stars guide you." Rex pulled her away. "We have to go, princess." They ran back to the Stardust Runner, the ground trembling beneath their feet. They had barely taken off when a massive energy wave emanated from the palace, disintegrating the corporation fleet in orbit. From the safety of space, Zara watched as the enemy ships retreated in disarray. Xyloria was free, but the cost had been high. The following days were a whirlwind of reconstruction and reorganization. Zara worked tirelessly, coordinating relief efforts and negotiating with planetary factions. Finally, the day of the ceremony arrived. The central plaza of the capital was filled with Xylorians and representatives from allied worlds. Zara, dressed in the royal mantle, approached the podium. "People of Xyloria, friends from the stars," she began, her voice resonating through the plaza. "Today I am not here to claim a crown. I am here to return power to where it always belonged, with you." A murmur of surprise ran through the crowd. "From today, Xyloria will be a democracy. Every citizen will have a voice in the future of our world. And beyond, I propose the creation of a new Galactic Alliance, based on cooperation and mutual respect among all the peoples of the stars." The announcement was met with cheers and applause. Zara smiled, feeling that she was finally fulfilling her true destiny. Hours later, Zara found herself on the bridge of the Stardust Runner. Rex stood beside her, gazing at the stars. "Ready for our next adventure, princess?" Rex asked with a smile. Zara returned the smile. "I'm no longer a princess, Rex. Just Zara." "Whatever you say, Zara," Rex replied with a wink. "So, where are we headed?" Zara looked at the vast field of stars before them. "Wherever we're needed. The galaxy is vast, and there's much work to be done." The Stardust Runner departed from Xyloria, venturing into the infinite cosmos. For Zara, Rex, and their crew, it wasn't the end of their journey but the beginning of a new one. The rebellion had triumphed, but the true adventure of building a better galaxy was just beginning.